son. The lyrical version on excursions to replace son. I grow impatient with complacence and the safely waiting. Not muy macho, but me fatos need a place to savor, a place to kick it while we stacking paper, counting digits. That motor mouth could get you knocking about up in my vision. I'm rocking out just like a suit of granite. How can you be bringing about the future if you do not plan it? I don't understand. Blaze on, we blaze one. You're gonna burn it dread and we can't say none. Blaze on, we blaze one. You're gonna burn it dread and we can't say none. Blaze one, we blaze one. You're gonna burn it dread and we can't say none. Blaze one, we blaze one. You're gonna burn it dread and we can't say none. Always on the philosophical tip. If you wanna see impossible, just stop and commit. Not a nigga on my block that will stop and repent, because we steady dodging cops with the tropical scent. We boxing them up, they boxing us in, because they locking us up and then they locking us in. We call it Babylon. Maybe your average Louis Farrakhan. Even as a child, ain't another that I tattle on. Saddle up, we about to battle on. They're trying to hold us down like cattle with the shackles of the
Today we're gonna be doing a look from Beyonce's video Pretty Hurts. In this video, she was like a pageant queen, presenting her talent. She had like a snatchback ponytail, bunny ears, and dark eyeshadow and light lips. And she had a little highlighting and contouring going on. So I'm gonna take you through those steps today on how to achieve that look using her beautiful model Jasmine. Get started. Whenever you're doing your makeup, before you do your makeup, you want to cleanse, tone, and moisturize your skin. When you cleanse, tone, and moisturize your skin, that sets your face up for your makeup to go on very smoothly. Think about a painter prepping his canvas. You know, he have to put the primer on it, the base, and everything to get it ready. So when you do that to your face, your makeup goes on evenly, it lasts longer, all those good things. So I'm going to take a wipe and just wipe Jasmine's face off with it. Jasmine's face, close your eyes for me. And what the toner does is it equalizes the pH balance in your skin. And it just gets off like any excess oils or dirt or anything that you have on your skin. So I'm going to just blot it in. And lastly, while her skin is still damp, I'm going to take a face moisturizer and I'm going to apply that all over her skin if I have any left. So a lot of people think that they shouldn't moisturize their skin, especially if they have oily skin. But it's always good to moisturize your skin because you don't want your skin to get dehydrated. The trick in moisturizing your skin is just finding the right moisturizer for your skin type. And you want to always moisturize any area of your skin while your skin is still damp, or not completely wet, but while your skin is still damp, your pores are still open. Jasmine's skin is going to be to apply primer. Primer comes in all different shades. I just use a clear primer by Smashbox, but they also have like purple primers, they have green primers, and how you choose your primer is also based on your skin type, your skin tone. If I had some green primer on hand, I would probably use that on Jasmine because she have a little redness just like by her cheeks, but I'll just, in my other techniques that I do, I'll cover that up. But normally if you have a lot of red in your skin, you want to use a green primer. You use a purple primer if you had a lot of gold in your skin to kind of help tone that down and cancel it out. So I'm going to just take this primer and I'm going to apply it on her face like I did with the moisturizer. I'm going to start doing Jasmine's eyes. I'm going to focus on her eyes first, only because sometimes when you're using dark color shadows, it'll fall out onto the skin and you have to go and wipe it off. And I don't want to like perfect her foundation and her highlight and contour and then go to her eyes and I have like eyeshadow dripping all over her face, and it just and I have to wipe it off. Like, so I work backwards when I do makeup. So I'm gonna do her eyes first, and then we'll get into her skin after. So taking a NYX pencil in Milk, I'm gonna go ahead and apply that all over Jasmine's lid. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna help her eyeshadow that we put on top to last longer, and it's gonna help it to pop more. It's gonna help the color be more vibrant. So you can take like your finger or an eyeshadow brush just to blend it in some. I'm gonna take a pencil eyeliner and I'm gonna dip it into a little gel liner. It's actually a cool trick that I learned from one of my fellow makeup artists here in New Orleans. And close for me. What I'm gonna do is get across her lash line. And that trick, it just helps your eyeliner to stay on a little longer and make it just a tad bit more darker than what it already is. I'm gonna help Jasmine look up, and I'm going to go inside of her waterline. So Jasmine has a much smaller lid than Beyonce have, so we're gonna do a few different techniques that Beyonce's makeup artist in this video probably didn't do, just because we're working with two different eye shapes. Jasmine's lid is actually a little smaller, so I'm not gonna be able to do too many different shades of black or too many different colors. Like, I might have to do a lighter color in her crease versus a darker color. It's just, everything goes by your eye shape. Because a smoky eye on me, I have to take different steps than a smoky eye on Jasmine. And I'm gonna take just a little smudge brush, close your eyes for me, and I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of smudge that around her eye. And when I say I'm gonna have to take different steps, what I mean is I'm gonna have to use different techniques, because when you use dark shadows on a small lid, it makes your eye look smaller. So I don't want Jasmine walking around looking like she have like little bitty beady eyes. So I'm gonna have to take different steps to still have her eye appear like larger and bright, even though I'm doing a smoky eye. Smudge that liner in. Look up for me. I'm gonna take this brush and just drag it across her lower lash line. And you see how that just added a little darkness to her eye already, just by putting a little eyeliner on. So next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take like a dark gray eyeshadow. I'm not gonna take a black, because remember I said dark colors, if you have dark colors, make everything smaller. Lighter colors open everything up. So I'm gonna still keep Jasmine's eyes dark, but I'm gonna try to use the lighter shades to create that smoky eye versus just going in on her eye with black. So I'm gonna take this gray color. I'm gonna place it over her lid. I'm just pressing it in. And see, the gray almost looks black, so I don't need to use a black, you know. it in over her eye. Open for me. Now I'm gonna take a fluffy blending brush. Open your eyes. And I'm gonna just go ahead and blend those hard lines and edges in. So I'm gonna actually take a black now, just with the same, just flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna go, close your eyes for me. I'm gonna go towards the outer corner of her eye, and I'm gonna just create like a small V with the black.
Pencil and pen stuck to the paper alike. Words that can model a nation off of patience and might. We taking a flight that's forsaken for the sake of the plight. The orchestration of the matrix where you play for your life. The red pill or the blue.
And with me using just the black to create and making a V with it, it's just gonna help add a little bit more depth and dimension to her eye. If I just would have used a flat black on her eyelid, everything would have just looked flat. So I'm gonna use the fluffy brush I was using to blend the V in with. I set that down and I got a more tapered blending brush. And I'm gonna take like a light, it's like a putty color almost. And I'm gonna place that in Jasmine's crease. It's right above where we did everything. I'm gonna go ahead and place that color. Eye in her eye shape, so I'm not gonna mess with it anymore because I like it. If you want to make it deeper or darker on yourself, you can. You just have to, know when to stop. Makeup is a personality. There are no real rules to it. It's just, do what you want using certain techniques. But I'm going to show you a few more things on Jasmine's eye to make it look a little brighter and a little bit more open. So taking a highlighter powder or an illuminating powder, everybody calls it something different. I'm going to take a small brush and close your eyes for me. I'm going to go right in the corner of Jasmine's eye and just dab it right there. Open for me. And that's going to give her eye the appearance of being a little bit more bigger and brighter. With the pencil eyeliner, and just go back over everything we did. And I'll just make it a little deeper. And if you want to take your smudge brush again, you can. And you could just roll it over the eye. That'll be good. Okay. So our final step for her actual eyes is to add lashes. Now normally for these 17 videos that Beyonce did, a lot of her looks were very natural. She just used a tad bit of mascara, not too many false lashes. But because of the setting of the video, like it being a pageant, in the title, like Pretty Hurts, I'm gonna use lashes. But I'm gonna measure it on my model's eye before I glue it on. Look down. So it looked like it fits eyeliner, and I'm gonna just run it across the top band of this strip lash. Because it's an invisible band, and sometimes the invisible bands are clear, and the lash glue will cover it, but just in case, I'm gonna cover it with this black pencil as well. That's gonna add even more depth to Jasmine's eye. To apply the lash on Jasmine, I'm going to use this lash adhesive by James Wealthy. It's a very, very nice top of the line lash adhesive. I I wouldn't compare it to anything that's out on the market because there's no comparison. I was using a lot of the popular eyelash adhesives like Duo, but what I found with Duo is that, and even the adhesive by Ardell and some other makeup companies, is that it would burn my clients' eyes, and then it would make them water, and if your eyes are watering, you can't adhere lashes on properly. So I found this when I went to a hair show actually, and it's tear free, and I've been using it ever since, and I haven't had one complaint from any of my clients about it. So I love it. It comes in a lovely gold bottle. It sits pretty on my station, and you don't need a lot. I'm gonna use this. I just squirted just a dab out of this container, and that's all I'm gonna use on this strip lash. I'm really not even gonna use all this. That's what came out, so that's what I'm gonna use. And they're refillable. So you don't, when you finish with this, you just get the refill and drop it in. It's really nice. Okay, I'm gonna take my tweezers. I'm gonna pick up the strip lash, and I'm gonna take like a mascara wand, or you could take a back of a brush, and I'm gonna use a little of that. I'm gonna pick up a little of that adhesive with it. It's easier. I'm gonna just go and swipe it across the lash. And you could use this adhesive for strips and individuals. I use it mostly for individuals, but I'm gonna use it for strips on Jasmine today, and the holding power of the glue is great. So I'm gonna have, I just put a tiny dab across. I'm gonna have Jasmine hold it for me. Just hold it by the hair. Right. Yep. You got it? Mm-hmm. Okay, and we're gonna wait about 30 seconds for it to get tacky. So the glue got a little tacky. I don't want it to get too tacky because then it's gonna dry completely. So I'm gonna have my model open her eyes, and then I'm gonna have her to look down. I'm not gonna have her close her eyes completely because I don't want to get her eyes. I don't want to shut her eyes together with the pencil. And then I'm gonna just press the lash onto right underneath the lash line. Just press it in. And in a few seconds, the gray that you see will start drying to black. And again, this adhesive is by James Wealthy.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel it tightening up. It should be good. Down. You just want to get it right under her lid. You don't want to put it on the actual lid. So we're gonna go ahead and let her lashes dry for a few minutes. Then I'm gonna go with like a coat of mascara just to kind of marry them together so they could be comfortable on her eyes.
It's sticking right here.
Yeah, it's gonna dry. Okay. Jasmine eyes dry a little, so what I'm gonna do is just take a tad bit of mascara, look up for it, and I'm just going to go underneath the lashes with the mascara. And what I'm doing is I'm just lifting like her lashes into the strip lashes so that it could be comfortable on her eye, and so that it could look a little bit more natural. You know, I don't want people walking up to her and then being like, "Oh girl, I could tell you got strip lashes on." I want it to look as natural as it possibly can. Now I'm gonna have her look up again, and I'm going to just, as some mascara on her bottom lash. And even this, even putting lashes on Jasmine and putting mascara on her bottom lash is just another way to open her eye up. Eyebrows. Then I'm gonna take a wax pencil and I'm gonna go over her eyebrows with the wax pencil. And that's just gonna help lay them down. Next, I'm going to take a medium brown brow pencil and just Jasmine already have dark brows, so I don't want to make her brows darker, but I want to define them a little bit more and make them a little fuller. So that's why I'm using medium brown and not a dark brown, even though her brows are already dark. So with the medium brown pencil, I'm gonna just go underneath her brow and create a line. So after we use the brow pencil to line underneath Jasmine's eye, I'm gonna take a medium brown eyeshadow and with an angle brush, I'm gonna just go back over that line to kind of set everything in place and just to define it a tad bit more. And then I'm gonna go in with the rest of the powder, the excess powder that I have on the brush. And I'm gonna start like right above her arch because that's usually the darkest part of the brow. And I'm gonna lay most of the powder in that area. And then with the rest of the powder, I'm gonna just bring it towards the inner corners. Go on and just brush everything up into place. And there you have it for the brows. Jasmine eyes and eyebrows done. The next order of business is to highlight and contour her face. I already laid Jasmine's foundation down. I used the number 2 cream foundation by AJ Crimson, and I just applied it all over her face and blended it in really well. Next, what I'm gonna do is using a lighter foundation between a shade and 2 lighter than Jasmine. I'm going to take it and highlight her face with it. Look up for me. So I'm gonna go under her eyes. The places on the face that you want to highlight are typically the places where the sun will hit your face. So if you step outside and the sun hits your face, it's gonna hit you up in this area, around your forehead, down your nose, like right above your mouth. And those are places that you want to highlight. And it's called a highlight because it's a few shades lighter than your normal skin tone. No one person is just one tone in the face. So what highlighting and contour does, it adds dimension to your face. So we're gonna go under her eyes. We're gonna create like an upside down triangle. I don't make it just like a triangle. I feather it out a little. You can see how I feathered it out because when I go and blend it, I don't want it to give harsh lines. Or if you take a picture, you know, I don't want it just to be like, oh, she has 2 light circles under her eyes. And what highlighting underneath the eye is gonna do is just gonna help brighten up Jasmine's eye. Next, I'm gonna just go down the bridge of her nose. I'm gonna go right above her cupid's bow and right this. Remember, everywhere the sun hits, that's where you want to place your highlighter. Think about your face in the summertime. Think about the parts that go darker faster and the parts that are light, you know, that stay light. And that's what you're doing. You're giving your face that mention when you're highlighting and contouring. That's what you should have in mind. So next, using the foundation 2 shades darker than Jasmine, I'm gonna contour her. And you have like this line going right, that's where you want to contour. And I just swooped it on. So contouring deepens everything up. You know, highlighting and contouring are extreme opposites. So if highlighting brightens everything, contouring deepens everything. And that's how you want to think of it. I'm gonna go on the side of her nose and I'm gonna just shade it in. And I have a more in-depth, one of the videos that we're going to be dropping in a few weeks have more highlighting and contouring to it, and I go even more in-depth with it, so just stay tuned for that. This is just kind of a quick lesson because we already have one that goes like into a lot of details about it, and if you're interested in that, just stay tuned and you'll see it. And I'm going to just dab over where we did the highlight and contour. I'm going to dab my light areas in first because I don't want them to mix quite yet, but I will get them to mix, just not yet. Look up for me. I'm not gonna dab, I'm just gonna dab, like I'm gonna press into it down the nose. I'm not gonna like rub it, so I'm just dabbing. So next, I'm gonna go in and blend it in. When I'm blending in a contour, I'm going up. I'm not going down because if you bring it down, it's gonna make her face look saggy. The purpose of contouring is to make everything look like go in and look nice and plump. If you bring it down, it's gonna make it look like it's dropping. You don't want to make it look like it's dropping. You seeing how I'm kind of going into the highlight with it? I'm not going like that. On the forehead, you could bring it down just a little if you want, but on the cheeks, definitely not. And I'm gonna just press the sides of her nose, because I don't want to lose it. Sometimes you could lose a contour on the nose. I'm gonna take my brush again and just go back over everything. And you just want to blend it in until it almost disappears. But you still want to see it. You just don't want to see lines. Blending is key. Take a step back and look at everything. Look that way for me. Now look that way for me. Okay. Because Beyonce's eyes were highlighted a lot in this video. But if you feel like you did too much, you could take tissue, you could break it in half, or you could separate it to make it one ply. And you could, look up for me, you could go under your eye and just dab. And that's just gonna get all the excess product. You can see how I picked up some excess product. So I get all that from underneath her eyes. The cream on Jasmine's face And usually when you use a cream, you want to go over it with a powder so that you could set everything in place so that nothing will like move around on her face. So I'm gonna take a contour powder and I'm gonna use a fan brush, and I'm gonna just, when we set that contour ad on her face, I'm gonna just go over it with that powder to set it in place. Everywhere we put it, I'm gonna actually go over it. I kind of set it in really deep just now on her nose, but the good thing about makeup is that it's trial and error. It washes off with soap and water, so if you ever make a boo-boo, it's okay. So all you gotta do is go back in with the beauty blender and press it down, and it'll be all good. And I'm gonna press it into her skin on the places that we highlighted. And this is gonna help underneath her eye not to crease as much, to keep it really nice and dry. And if you choose to put your foundation on before you do your eyeshadow, you could put a little of this powder underneath your eye, and that way when your foundation, when your eyeshadow do drip, you could just sweep it away when you finish the powder, pick up all of the loose eyeshadow that falls. Or you could use a translucent powder. Steps in completing Jasmine's look for Pretty Hurts, or her makeup look, because we have a hair look too, is her blush and her lip gloss. So I'm using a orangey type blush by NARS. It's called Taj Mahal. Say cheese for me. And just on the apple of her cheeks, I'm gonna go ahead and use a circular motion to I'm gonna lay most of it on the apple of her cheek. Like, you want to smile. When you smile, or you ask your client to smile and you lay it right on the apple, that's gonna be your most natural looking blush. You don't want to sweep it up. You could sweep it up when when it's almost off of your brush. You could sweep it up just a tad, but you don't want to like go like push, put your brush in a blush and just go swoop. You want it to look nice and natural. And if I do too much, I take my beauty blender and I just kind of go over it to tone it down a tad. I'm using the highlighting powder that we used on the inner corner of Jasmine's eyes when we were doing her eyeshadow. It's kind of hard to come out because it's in this bottle. But using that, I dip it in my fan brush, and right where we set the highlight at with the concealer, I'm gonna go and put this over it, and that's just gonna make her glow. Gloss is called Coral Kiss by Youngblood. Coral is a universal color on every skin tone that looks well. So I'm gonna just go and throw this on over Jasmine's lips. It's just gonna give her a nice little shimmer. Normally the rule is if you do a dark eye, you want to do a soft lip, or if you do a dark lip, you want to do a soft eye. And that's kind of the rule that they followed for this video. So that's what we're gonna do. Happy to see you. I'm gonna take a step back and look at my work, see how I like it. Everything looks nice to me. So I would say that this is how you achieve the look for Pretty Hurts. Beyonce's video, her first video for her visual album. If you want to see more looks, just like I said, stay tuned, subscribe to the station. We have 16 more looks that will be posted, and each one of them are more specific to what Beyonce was showcasing in that video. So we have one on how to achieve dark lips, how to do more contouring and highlighting, how to get a natural glowy look if you're going to the beach. So just stay tuned. Thank you.
Philosophical tip. If you wanna see impossible, just stop and commit. Not a nigga on my block that will stop and repent, because we steady dodging cops with the tropical scent. We boxing them up, they boxing us in, because they locking us up and then they locking us in. We call it Babylon. Maybe your average Louis Farrakhan. Even as a child, ain't another that I tattle on. Saddle up, we bout to battle on. They're trying to hold us down like cattle with the shackles of the mental on. Pentakill in the Pentagon, while we be bent up on the pills, we be a simple-minded lexicon. While they pockets getting hella long, and now the only way it's getting better is to have Berettas on.
Hi everyone, my name is Brittany. I will be the hairstylist in all of our Beyonce tutorials on this channel. Look for Beyonce's Pretty Hurts video. All we did was pull Jasmine's hair back into a low bun, and we put the infamous bunny ears. And this is the final hair look for Pretty Hurts.